I'm 30, it will happen when I'm 60. We want to think about that. Let's talk about retirement, whether it's good to do it via real estate or savings. This is real estate in Kenya with Ruben Kimani. I'm assuming most of my viewers are young people. You're talking about people who are less than 40 years. Retirement is very far away. It's something you have been thinking about and on and off, something you have been hearing in the media. When you talk with your friends, it doesn't feature prominently. Things move very fast, and you have to also move very fast. Before you know it, you are old. In terms of age, you're about to retire, and you don't have anything for yourself. I think the first thing I would like to say, preparing for retirement is not something that you have to wait for so long. You start with baby steps. Planning for it, planning is just putting it in pen and paper and thinking about it and having just a general strategy about it. Investing is way better than saving, not just for retirement, even for the next 5 years when you have not retired. Investment is just putting your money somewhere where it grows without your direct operational overheads, without your direct input. You buy a plot today at Gong worth 599,000, that's 600,000. 5 years down the line, the plot is worth more than 1 million shillings. So basically, you have been able to gain almost 100% of your initial investment. It just increases in value. That is investment. Saving is good for emergency fund. An emergency fund is an equivalent of your 6 month worth of the money you spend every month for your own maintenance multiplied by 6 months. I hope that is understandable. You save money enough to pay your bills for 6 months. That is called emergency fund. And you can be able to do that for a short time. That is enough for savings. Instead of saving money in the bank, we advise you can consider doing the same, putting money into money market funds, the one that are regulated. Be very careful not to go to unregulated funds. You cannot save without an objective. Saving is not just for the sake of it, because money has wings, as people say. Money hates a vacuum. Money has to find a use. If you put 1 million somewhere without thinking, something will just come up. An emergency, a bill that needs to be paid, a friend will borrow money that they'll never return, because you never had an objective for that cash in the first place. Let's go to investing. Investing for retirement is so important. I've seen people who bought houses, they bought land like 30 years ago, 20 years ago, and it was being sold for a song for a very few thousand shillings. And that is what they are using today to be able to enjoy their retirement. One of the things that people do, they buy houses over time, land houses over time, houses where you can be able to rent them out with a specific objective. So you start now, and investing is very important, and real estate is the place to be. So saving is for emergency. We have left that bit first. We are into investment. Investment is the way to go. You start now. You can mix your investment between buying land. Land gives you capital gains, the biggest, more than housing. So you buy land for 500,000 today. In 20 years' time, the land can be worth 10 million shillings. It happens in real estate. That is for capital gain. It can make you wealth. You can imagine if you have like 10 pieces of property spread all across the country in very good places, you can accumulate a lot of wealth. People accumulate hundreds of millions of shillings. The one you read in newspaper. It's not magic. They started early enough, but time has been able to make them rich or wealthy. You can also mix with houses. Houses give you rent. The key thing here is rent. And we talk about liquidity. When you retire, what you need is money to be able to. You need liquid money. And this is very important. So you keep investing in rental houses where you can be able to get rent. When you retire, you don't need a lot of assets that are not generating liquid money, because you need money for medical is very important. And somebody was talking about having an insurance scheme. One of the most important investment is on medical when you retire. How do you get insurance that time? And the way is expensive for older people. When you are more than 50, you need investment that can be able to support that. And that's where I'm talking about is houses for rent. You can buy houses worth 3 million, 4 million, where you can be able to get 20, 30,000. You keep doing that. In the span of 20 years, most people can do a lot. You can have a portfolio of houses for rent worth so many millions. There are those who can be able to do flats. They are all over in our assets. You can collect maybe a half a million per flat, 1 million per flat. Then you have several over time, depending on your level of income. We are talking about people who can be able to buy houses worth even 3 million on the lowest of scales. So this is not a debate about people who earn so much money. Like I said in my previous content, you can watch my video about how to own a home with your 30,000 salary, so that you can start from there. So this is a continuous process. It is not something you do when you are 45 years. It's something you start when you watch this video, if you have not started yet. So that you start today, take advantage of time, be patient, you'll be able to get there. There are those who can be able to do commercial properties depending on your budgets. Big ones where you can be able to rent over an office like this one. You get very good rent. We know the real estate is we say real estate is very resilient, but sometimes it goes down. Over a long period of time, like 10 years, the appreciation is there. But there are times when you have COVID, it has to go down for 1 year. Then comes back. That is real estate for you. Resilient, it keeps going up. The other thing about real estate, because of the capital appreciation in our country, and this is because of our population growth, urbanization and stuff like that, we have to keep needing these homes, these houses, and that drives up the demand. The value of houses can only go higher over the years. And that's why we are saying a house is very important. There's something called inflation. Inflation is, if you have a million today, in 10 years, it will not be worth the million today, because of something called inflation. To beat that, you have to invest in the right asset, and real estate can be able to help you beat inflation fair and square. So that's why we are telling you to invest in real estate. Like I said, you can be able to buy a plot, you can be able to buy a house that can give you rent, you can be able to buy commercial properties depending on your budget. Then you work with 10, 20 or 30 years depending on your age. The younger you are, the better. You can start now without compromising your living standards. You just need to squeeze yourself a little. Then you take enough time. Be very consistent in your investment. We said putting 30% of your income to investment. The more you earn, the better, because you can be able to move much faster. By the time you get to 50 years, 60 years, and you want to retire, and maybe reduce the level of your economic activities, you can take advantage. Imagine you have houses, have 5 houses, they are giving you 300,000 worth of rent, for example. Someone who receives 100,000 without working. You can pay for your insurance needs. You can do a trip for those who want to travel. You can be able to even put money elsewhere, depending on what you want to do when you retire. The point is, and I'll have to recap this. The point is, saving is for emergency fund. 6 months worth, that's enough. If you save money for too long, it is not growing. Number 2, investment is the way to go. Number 3, investment in real estate to beat inflation. And number 4, you have to start as early as possible. Be extremely consistent. Every month, 30% of your money should go to that investment, either for retirement, but my best concept is to invest not for retirement. Invest because you need to grow your wealth, not just for retirement. You should also enjoy your life even before retirement. But don't think you have so much time. People take years before they accumulate enough wealth. It takes, for some people in some countries, takes generations. So you need to start today without compromising your life. I talked about 50% that is for your own needs. So you still can be able to live quality life Invest, save, and live. You just need to budget, forecast. You just need to be patient. You also need to look for this kind of information in a channel like this one. Please comment there as well. We can be able to answer your questions. You can be able to have other ideas that we don't have and tell us how you can also be able to do it for retirement. Wish you all the best. Success in your work, success in your business. God bless you.